Firstly, this veteran actor, whoever he is, hats off to him. He's nailed it. An actor never goes away. Jhalak, I'm not so sure because I'm not a great dancer, but I've been dying to do Khatro Ke Khiladi. It was offered to me many years ago, and at that time I was traveling overseas. I told them I'd get back and then reconnect. By the time I got back, reconnected, the casting had been done, and it hasn't been offered to me after that. I would love to. I would love to do Khatro Ke Khiladi. I'm a physical person. I love challenges. I came in on the fourth season where I hadn't even watched Bigg Boss prior to that. I didn't really know what it was all about. Post my season, I think, and maybe one more season after, where there was a lot of conflict and ladai jhagda. I think the season after mine, there's Rajkumar Hirani, Zoya Akhtar. Unfortunately, they both had films which didn't work recently, but maybe they've cast the wrong actors. They should be casting me. I want to do a comedy film. I haven't done. I don't know if people think I'm not funny.
State versus Ahuja. He's a rock star, a superstar who has given back to back hits. But guess what? He has been accused of a serious crime. So, what's the secret behind the mystery? Watcho is all set to take you on a roller coaster ride filled with emotion, drama, thrill, suspense, and a lot of mystery. And today we have with us at Filmibeat someone who is playing the lead role and who is all set to take you on a roller coaster ride along with Watcho. There is no prize for guessing that we are talking about the one and only Ashmit Patel. Hi Ashmit sir, I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great, Abhishek. How are you?
I'm fine, very excited. Like the trailer has released, the series is finally available for watching on Watcho. I've seen it. So excited that finally you're back with a banger of a project. So first of all, tell me, did you take your own sweet time when the makers approach you for your project? Because you're known to be being choosy.
Yes, I am very picky and choosy, but with this one, honestly, Abhishek, when I initially got the synopsis and I read through the synopsis, I instantly was very intrigued by it. And I think within a couple of days, we had a meeting, Mr. Suresh Thomas, the producer, and Tarun Chopra, the director. And when Tarun narrated the script to me in detail, I was flabbergasted. I absolutely loved the plot twists and turns, which, this obviously you've seen the series, there's a lot of ifs and buts. Has this guy done it? Has he raped? Has he not raped? Has somebody else framed him? Has somebody else done it? What is the whole, what's going on? So the plot actually naturally lent to a lot of twists and turns and ifs and buts and cliffhangers, which is what I liked, that every episode had an end where it was like, oh my God, what just happened and what's going to happen next? So that's what I really liked about it. It wasn't forced. And for me, it was yes, immediately. I really connected with Tarun Chopra, the director. And Mr. Suresh Thomas is an old associate of my dad's. When Mr. Thomas was part of the music industry, he had a music company called Crescendo Music. So at that time, my dad and him have done business together. So I knew him from when I was very, very young, and it was just everything just matched and fell in place and was an easy yes.
That's amazing. So the series has been touted as your comeback project. So, like, I personally believe, like a veteran actor told me once in an interview, an actor never makes a comeback. He might be busy with something, but he never makes a comeback because it's always there. So, what's your take on it? Because people are calling it as your comeback. They are showering with all loves and blessings. So, what is your take on it? Because you were busy with doing something very different and so exciting, like music production, DJ gigs. So, also tell us something about that also.
But firstly, this veteran actor, whoever he is, hats off to him. He's nailed it. An actor never goes away, because even if you are not working actively on a project, you're experiencing life and you're growing as a human. And those experiences, those that growth is going to be very helpful for you when you then again face the camera, because you tap in from that to use when you are essaying a character. So definitely, I mean, if people are calling it a comeback, I've made so many comebacks I've lost count. But I did I did have a film release last year. I also had a show, one episode of a show which is separate stories and different actors on Geo. So I was a part of one of the episodes. I've had a couple of music videos released, and like you correctly said, I've been working on my doing my DJ gigs, but also working on music production and my company Ashram Collective. I don't know if you can see the logo right
Yeah, I can
there.
see.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a music label. Along with that, we also do artist management and event management, like weddings, etc. And now I'm doing merchandising. I'm selling. I'm going to get into selling T-shirts, caps, hoodies, and things like that. So that's also what keeps me busy, other than the DJing and of course the acting.
In short, you're donning multiple hats at one go.
I am.
Yeah.
I have a couple more.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, like, while I was watching the series, there were a lot of emotionally draining scenes as well. And there were times like, as an artist, of course, you do get immersed into the character. So did it take also an emotional toll on you because you were performing some heavy lifting, high intense scenes. So what was your experience like?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head again, Abhishek. There were so many intense scenes because this guy is going through something which is so, I mean, it's earth-shattering, right? His personal life, his family life, his career, everything, and it gets shattered. Any normal human would also be so badly affected by an allegation like rape. But then when you are a public figure, it just gets magnified hundredfold. So, from the media to the fans to his producers, backing out, all of that he has to deal with. So all those scenes were very, very, very draining. And uh, there were days when after a scene, it took me a while. When I'm crying in the scene, and I had to actually walk off set, go rush to my van because I just couldn't stop crying. And my staff, obviously, who've been with me for 15, 20 years, some of them, they were concerned because, they hadn't really seen me uh, not being able to switch off immediately very often. But I think I connected so deeply with this character, A, because of course he is an actor, and every actor knows, you go through a gamut of things which are true rumors, some stuff which is just taken out of context, exaggerated, and it affects you. It affects your family. My parents have gone through a lot uh, during the course of my career. So yeah, when those thoughts and those feelings and emotions come back, and obviously as an actor you draw from what you've experienced in life, it becomes a little hard sometimes to uh, control yourself. And there were days when I just went home completely drained. I couldn't even I couldn't move. I would just go home straight without even taking makeup off, eating dinner, nothing, just crash, just go onto my bed and just pass out. And I'd actually wake up even with tears in my eyes because those dreams and those thoughts were again in my subconscious. And yeah, but every day is a fresh day, and you go on set and you be the actor. So just
Yeah,
like Ansha Ahuja
exactly.
had to, Ansha Ahuja had to pull up his socks and just present a strong front. You do that. That's what you I guess where the term hero came in from, because
Yeah,
you have to go through a lot as actors. You really do. And unless you've been a part of the industry or have experienced
yeah.
actors firsthand, you wouldn't understand it.
Very true, very true. So you mentioned being a public figure. So as artists, as actors, as performers, you guys see the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. So
Yeah.
now, after spending so many considered years in the industry, how do you perceive success? Because you have seen it all. You've seen the highest of highs and lowest of lows. Because especially during COVID lockdown, I remember talking to another fellow actor. He also told me that there was a vulnerability, of course, because work is not happening, you're losing out on projects. Also, there's an age factor. Everyone wants ki, nahi, I want someone who should perform this, I want someone who can do this. But you, having spent so many years in the industry, how do you perceive success now?
Success, in my mind, in my opinion, is relative. Now, if I compare myself to Shah Rukh Khan, I'm going to feel, "Oh, okay, I haven't achieved anything." But if I compare myself to someone who's just starting out, I have a decent body of work, right? Like you said correctly, I mean, 21 years in the industry.
Yeah.
So success is not measured in terms of name. It's not measured in terms of fame. It's not measured in terms of money. Do you go to sleep at night with a smile on your face? And do you wake up with a smile on your face? And when you wake up,
Exactly.
from the time that you wake up to the time you sleep, how many smiles are you putting on someone's face? I think that is the measure of success, because money is never going to be enough. Today you could be the richest man in India, but there's some Arab sheikh who's got 10 times more than you. So money
Exactly.
is not a barometer.
Aptly
Success,
said.
success in that terms, like, commercial success in terms of hit films is fleeting. It comes and it goes. You have mega stars like Salman Khan giving big hits, but then he also has not so big, not
Yes.
successful.
Not so,
So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
very fleeting. So you have to understand what success means for you, define your own meaning of success. The fact that I am able to provide smiles, provide good living for a number of people who are employed by me. I'm able to spend good quality time with my family, support them through whatever they've had to go through. That for me is success. Um, yeah, I feel I'm successful. I have days when I feel not good enough, like I haven't done enough. Like any other human being, I feel I have those insecurities. I do feel, of course, that I could do better work. I should do more. But then I correct myself. I catch myself, and I'm like, you know what? Each one has its own journey. Your journey is
Exactly.
is unique to you, and take it easy. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, of course, but be kind to
Exactly.
ourselves. Yeah, that's very
It's
important.
very true because in today's time we are very harsh on ourselves because considering social media is there, like we see someone on Instagram, we believe, अरे क्या मस्त life है यार उसकी, but we don't know
Right.
that उसके पीछे वाला hard work. That's the thing.
It's become very hard for the even, I mean, especially for the new generation, the kids today. My heart goes out to them because they've been born into this. We've gradually, at least for me, seen the advent of social media from when WhatsApp to Facebook to Twitter to then Instagram. It was a gradual journey. I could adjust to it. But people who are born into it, the new generation, they're thrust into this whole competitive space where everything, success, and you have to do this and you have to do that. You have to be an overachiever. It's hectic. You see school children with such big bags, and they're going from tuition to tuition. They finish school, and then they've got uh, one class after another. We didn't have that. We had maybe
Exactly.
one tutor for maybe maths or something, a subject which we were not good at, or maybe I took on calculus later in my schooling career. Uh, and the calculus was something which I enjoyed, but it was also very difficult. You needed to really, have more tutoring behind it. But today it's a very different ball game, and I think that's put so much pressure. That's why mental health has come to the forefront. And like my character, he's going through Anshauja, he's going through these mental challenges. He's thinking that where did I go wrong? How have I, have I not been there for my daughter? Have I not been a good husband? So all of these things come to the fore in State versus Ahuja, and I think there's so much relatability in the show that everybody will enjoy it and kind of connect with it.
Keeping fingers crossed, and 1 month after release, people will be just showering with all love. They already love you because you are the OG. Why? Let me tell you why you're an OG. Especially when it comes to Bigg Boss. Someone who has grown up watching Bigg Boss. I remember 2010. And why I'm mentioning this point? Because that time there was no PR as such, no PR like celebrities who now go inside the Bigg Boss house. They have their own set of PR team, management team. But during that time, it was a different ball game altogether. Because you were something like I remember voting for you, and that time there was no Geo Cinema, no Voot. So it was never free. It was like you have to spend 5 rupees on Vodafone per SMS to make your favorite win. So yeah, so I have to ask you now when you reflect your journey, when you see that because you have to also navigate to a different sort of stuff because there was no clear cut direction because उस time एक clear format नहीं होता था. You went inside the Big Boss house, आपने ऐसे किया, you got judged, you got people loved you, people shouted you flowers, there were people who said so many things. But now it's like very calculated move when it comes to Big Boss. So how do you reflect back on that journey now?
Firstly, Abhishek, I owe you 5 rupees for voting for me.
No, no, no. I wanted multiple. No, it's love, but it's love. It's love for
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate that. I owe you a cup of coffee. I would love to take you for a cup of coffee.
Definitely, definitely.
But again, you're right. You've completely analyzed it perfectly. Back then, we didn't even have Instagram. Forget
Nothing.
who. There was no Instagram. There was nothing. Twitter was around, but there was no other social media. So yeah, and I came in on the fourth season where I hadn't even watched Big Boss prior to that. I didn't really know what it was all about. And there was no precedent set of how you must behave and XYZ. But post my season, I think, and maybe one more season after, where there was a lot of conflict and ladai jhagda. I think the season after mine, people realized that the more bawal we create,
Hmm.
the more footage we'll get, the more screen time we'll get, and they realize that it's a game. People are manipulating and playing a game, and they don't shy away from manipulating and playing a game. Whereas my whole idea of going in, I'd been offered Big Boss for first, second, third, even the fourth season. I'd actually first said no to it. After which I accepted it again when they insisted. Uh, and Salman Bhai was then hosting it, so I thought, okay, this is a good time to come in. Um, I went in just to showcase who I am as a person, the real me, and that is what I did. Um, but today people are presenting a different front. They're presenting an image of who they want to be perceived as, and there's a game, and they go prepared, and they have a whole PR machinery, and all of that happening behind it. So it's evolved, I guess, or if you can call it evolved. I don't know. I don't even watch the show. It's not. uh, I get really affected with negativity when there's fights and shouting, screaming. I can't watch it. I get disturbed. So I don't really watch too much. I mean, watch it. I've seen on off. I know a little bit when my friends, some people I know have been on the show. I see snippets of it, when they are on it, but otherwise I don't. But yeah, it's evolved and it's doing great. It's got the TRPs and it's popular. So yeah,
But
like
I
everything else,
have
I would tell people don't take it too seriously. Yeah, I mean,
mm,
reality is
it's
rather
different.
different. Just
Yeah,
like on social media, it's very different.
but your season was mighty successful. I remember 2010, shattering all the TRP records at 9 p.m., taking colors to the number one position. So, nahin, that's phenomenal. So, delving back to State versus Ahuja, what is the similarity? Because you have lived that role. So, what, according to you, is the similarity between Ashmit Patel and Ansh Ahuja?
Well, obviously mm, the most obvious similarity is we're both actors. But I think every actor goes through some kind of, you know, rumors, controversies. The magnitude changes, obviously. Not everyone is accused of rape. And similarly, I've gone through my journey where I've had all kinds of controversies, that I've been attached to. So you do experience where your family getting affected, negative media, it takes a toll on you. People think that actors are, I don't think they even think about what an actor goes through when people say, for example, in today's day and age, troll you, or when a journalist writes something without actually fact checking. He needs to do his job. He needs to make it clickbaity. He puts up, a headline which will draw eyeballs, but there is an actual individual behind that, a human being who's being affected by what you write and what you say. So I've had my fair share of, traumas attached to some of the stuff that's been written about me and my family. And I've come through it. That's part and parcel of being in the public space. And I think it makes you stronger. What doesn't break you makes you stronger. So here I am, still here.
Very true, very true. So let's dwell to the next question. When the trailer was released, like the first thing which people talked about, like it looked very similar to a particular case. Another certain actor, Bollywood actor, was accused of the same thing. So
Hmm.
did you keep that thing in mind? Keep people are going to talk about it because there's some similarity. If you see, I won't name the actor, but there's one particular actor whose career got affected, and he is a brilliant actor. It's not that he has not good quality of work. He's a
Yeah.
brilliant actor. But unfortunately, once the label which he got, after that, his career, matlab, it took a major drastic hit. So, did you keep this thing also in mind? Because people have this notion, like as you said, people love masala. Especially, I'm not being derogatory to anyone, but Indians we love masala. We love when we are talking about someone else's life, what is happening in our neighbor's life, padosi ghar mein kya ho raha hai. So, did you keep this thing in mind? Did the director also said because people are making comparison on social media, and you are the face of the series. So, a direct question to you: did you keep this also in mind? Ki such things will be asked because the career of the actor, like today, he's not working. He is very talented. We can't name him, but he's very talented actor. And right now, we don't even know what his mental state is. So, any
Yeah.
comments on that?
Um, you know, it didn't strike me right off the bat, but then later when I did make the connection, I did bring this up, and there is no similarity. As you've seen the show, there's just
Mhm.
that premise of an actor being
The
accused
nice,
of.
yeah.
Beyond that, there's no similarity whatsoever. And I was very clear with both Tarun, the director, and Suresh Thomas, the producer. I said, look, I don't want this to be pegged as XYZ story or any, when we do release and there is media happening, I do not want that name coming up. I respect what an actor has to go through, like what I just said. We go through so much. We're human beings. And I would not want to be in that gentleman's position with another actor saying something that maybe I have had to go through, which is not factually correct, or just bringing it back into focus. Because, like you said, extremely talented. Graph was upward trajectory, doing so well, and then suddenly overnight, because of something, I don't want to pass judgment on whether right, wrong, what happened. I think the case is still sub judice,
Mm.
so I don't want to go there. But I don't think it's right that we use somebody else's bad fortune or maybe a mistake or whatever it was to capitalize on and make something that is going to be uh, harming them or affecting them and their families. I don't prescribe to that at all.
Such a beautiful answer, because it's true. Because in today's time, when everything we essentialize everything, so and coming an answer, you are being the face. That's the reason why I asked you, and I was expecting a sensible answer, and you came with a sensible answer. Thank you so much. And you should always be smiling because you have an infectious smile. Like you should always be smiling.
Oh,
so at
obviously you are.
so at Filmy Beat, we don't miss a single beat. So let's play a quick rapid fire before we wrap up this segment. So are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
So one particular filmmaker that is on your mind and you would now like to next collaborate with.
There's three or four. There's Rajkumar Hirani, Zoya Akhtar. Unfortunately, they both had films which didn't work recently, but maybe they've cast the wrong actors. They should be casting me. So that's
Fingers crossed. And when this thing happens, I'm going to remind you, okay, you said this in my interview. Keeping fingers crossed.
done.
So one particular genre of acting which you would now like to next experiment with.
Um, I want to do a comedy film. I haven't done a. I don't know if people think I'm not funny or what it
You
is.
are funny. We have seen you all the off-screen segments.
I think comedy requires a different level of it requires good timing, and I think I have that. So I would love to experiment with a good comedy film, and also a nice big epic drama, like maybe a mythological film or something based on history, like playing Chhatrapati Shivaji, coming riding on a horse, going into battle. I think I have the physicality to suit something like that, and I would love to do something like that for sure.
Yeah, never say never. Nitesh Tiwari sir is making Ramayana. I hope he is listening. The Kainat,
This
entire Kainat is listening, as Shah Rukh Khan said, ki jo
is
bhi chao na, wo Kainat is in. So, like you have been part of reality shows. So, if given an opportunity, would you like to be a part of reality show, something like Khatron Ke Khiladi or a show like Jhalak Dikhla Ja?
Jhalak, I'm not so sure because I'm not a great dancer, but I've been dying to do Khatro Ke Khiladi. It was offered to me many years ago. And at that time, I was traveling overseas and I told them I'd get back and then reconnect. By the time I got back, reconnected, the casting had been done and it hasn't been offered to me after that. So I would love to. I would love to do Khatro Ke Khiladi. I'm a physical person. I love challenges. If you see my Instagram, I keep trying to do different things. I had this thing called 50 before 50, where I'm challenging myself to face my fears and trying different things. So I think Khatro Ke Khiladi would be ideal for me.
Colors and them all. I hope you're listening. You have got the next contestant here for Khatron Ke Khiladi season 14.
We're just throwing shout outs to everyone: Rajkumar Hirani, Zoya Akhtar.
Everyone, because this is a power of manifestation, sir. You never know. So, kya ho jaye?
It is, it is.
So, like one particular film, if it is ever remade, it can be a Hollywood film, Bollywood film, or a South film, you would now like to be a part of, which is your favorite, you would now like to be a part of.
Um, Bollywood, Hollywood. There was this film that Christian Bale did many years ago. I'm forgetting the name of the film. It's one of his first few films where he plays a guy from Wall Street who is a bit psychotic. He's obsessive and he's actually a serial killer. I'm forgetting the name of the film. How can I forget? It's one of my favorite films. I would love to do that. I would love to play that because that character is so intense, it's so dark, but you to delve into the psyche of that character would be an amazing journey. I would have to study so much about that particular disorder and get into it. It would be interesting. It would be I think a role of a lifetime. I think I could win an Oscar for it.
That's amazing. So
A film
as
fair.
fair, fair, never say never. So as you mentioned, you want to play a dark character. Have you ever been stalked in real life? Because you're also playing an actor in State versus Ahuja. You're an actor in real life. Have you ever been stalked?
Yeah, mildly. I haven't had any crazy kind of people writing letters in blood and all that. But yeah, I've had people. If I post a story that I've landed in Jaipur and I'm on my way to the hotel, and if I post a picture or a video from the hotel tagging the hotel, then yeah, when I've walked out in the lobby, I've had people there waiting to meet me. That kind of a thing. Sweet stuff. Nothing crazy. No one. I don't check my DMs too much on Instagram. I don't. I try to stay away from social media as much as possible, and I don't want to get into checking DMs because your whole day will go on that. So I'm sure there's a one odd there's stuff that happens there. People are propositioning, doing this, saying that, but I don't go into it. But yeah, crazy stuff on social media happens for sure.
Okay. So one particular thing or fact about you which the world is not aware of, you have to spill the bench here. One lesser known fact on Ashmit Patel.
Lesser known. I don't know if it's completely unknown, but about 4 years ago, I turned vegetarian. I only eat eggs now, and people are of the belief that without non-veg food, you can't build muscle and all that. So I just want to break that myth. There you go.
Ooh.
Uh, Vegetarian, yeah, a few eggs here and there thrown in there, a little bit of eggs over there, but otherwise purely vegetarian. And mercy for animals. I don't think animals should be killed, especially the way they are farmed and things today. They go through so much torture. Back in the day when they were, out free roaming and when they reached a certain thing, and there was a natural cycle, it was still, I think, okay, maybe back then to consume animal meat, but not today. We torture animals way too much. So I don't think it's a good thing. And we're putting all that poison, those toxins into your body. So no.
Please said. So the last question, tell us about your upcoming projects, which fans, because your fans are very keen to know about you. Like as you said, the hardcore fans, they also send you DMs. They also flood your Instagram with their messages. So tell them about your upcoming projects after State versus Ahuja.
Abhishek, funnily enough, this coming Friday, there's another show releasing. I won't reveal that yet, but I think the PR will start for that from tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a poster release, I believe, happening. So we will find out about that. On my Instagram, I'll be posting. Um, and then post that, there's two feature films also which are complete and ready. I just finished dubbing for them. They're in the later stages of post production. So later this year, those two films will also release, and there is one more series as well, which is complete and in the pipeline.
No. In short, 2024 is going to be your year. As you said, I just whenever I meet someone who has the initials A, I just tell them one thing. A wale to awesome hote hain. It's true. It's very true. So you are awesome. So wishing you all the very best for your future projects. Just keep on rocking. Be the rock star you are, and keep on smiling. The
Thank
infectious
you.
smile should never go.
Never,
Thank you
never.
so much. Thank you
Thank you,
so much. It was a
Abhishek.
great. I had a
Lovely,
pleasure talking.
lovely.
Thank you so much. Please take
Likewise,
my
likewise.
regards. Thank you so much.